Hi folks, my name is Ash and I'm from Veraison Development. At Veraison, we're committed to helping individuals, teams and organisations achieve extraordinary performance. Today, I want to share one of the distinctions that we use in our work with organisations and teams and individuals. The distinction relates to our intentions and the impact of our behaviours. Occasionally, there's a gap between our intent and the impact that we create. When there's no gap, so if I'm wanting to motivate my staff and inspire my staff, and I manage to speak with them in a way that is engaging for them, it helps them to connect to some really meaningful goals, then the likely result is my intent and my impact are matched. And so what will result is likely to be high performance. So happy days. On occasion, whether it's because we're busy or a number of other factors, occasionally my intention and the impact that I create, there's a big gap. And so I create an unintended impact. And I'd like to share a real example with you that brings this to light. So one of the organisations we partner with was having a very important event. And that event was kicking off around 5 p.m. And at around 2 p.m, the CEO, who was flat out like most of us, had a thought that it would be a great idea to do a site inspection and just make sure that everything's in order because they wanted to have a successful event, and the last thing they want is to have any complaints by any of these key stakeholders. So they whizzed down to the site and started doing a walk around. While they're walking around, one of the things the CEO noticed was a pile of rubbish kind of next to a big stage. And they thought, oh, that's terrible, that's got to be cleaned up. So I tried calling a manager, couldn't get hold of him, and then they saw some workforce guys over in the distance. So he called them over. And the guys came over and he said, hey guys, listen, what's going on with that rubbish there? Because I'd really like it cleaned up. And they said, yeah, no worries. And he goes, excellent, thanks, appreciate it. See you guys, have a good day. And that was the extent of it. Now he probably thought that he did a great job. He probably thought that his intent and his impact was pretty matched there. Now, the unfortunate thing is, 2 days later, I was meeting with the workforce and they seemed pretty down. And I said to the guys, what's going on? And they said, you know that really important event that we were running, we had everything, we went above and beyond, we had everything on schedule. And then, the CEO comes down and the only thing he picks out is a pile of rubbish that was next to the stage. And we were, it was the next thing on our list anyway to clean up. And I said, so what's the problem? And I said, well, the problem is, that's what always happens. What always happens is the boss comes down, and the only thing he says is something that wasn't done yet. And it's just criticism, mate. And I said, right, so this is a really, really key issue, because when people feel like they're criticised, they don't notice that there's a gap. They don't realise that the CEO wouldn't be in their right mind if they wanted to take time out of their schedule to come down and criticise and leave their staff feeling, demoralised. That's just, so there's clearly an intent and an impact gap here. Yet the staff won't get that. They don't notice the gap. They just feel criticised. And then I asked them, so what are you going to do about it? Are you guys going to have a chat and give the CEO some feedback? And they said, well, maybe when hell freezes over. And I said, how come? And they said, well, because one, he's not likely to listen, and two, we'll probably get a big black cross next to our name. And so I said, what are you going to do? And they went, nothing. We're not going to do anything about it. And don't worry about it. This is just normal for us. Now, if you start to think about that, and then you start reflecting on our own organisations and our own lives, where is it that our intent occasionally doesn't meet with the impact? And what's the cost of that? Because it's pretty huge. In this situation, the cost was a massive divide between the workforce and also the management. And you can't have high performance when there's a big divide between workforce and management. They need to be aligned. They need to have respect, obviously. So what can we do about that? And how would a high performance leader have managed that same situation and actually created an impact that fitted with their intention? So, first step, get super clear on what your intention actually is. So in that case, the intention was both to make sure that the event was successful, everything was in order and there would be unlikely to be complaints. And as well as that there would be an interaction with my workforce that leaves them feeling motivated and appreciated so that they can feel like they're valued in the organisation. So 1, get really clear on the intent and what we're wanting to achieve. 2, have self-awareness. So do a check-in and say, how do I normally go about this type of thing? Okay, well I normally look for faults. Well, that's not going to get me the result I'm committed to. So I have to consciously choose then to look for what's going right, what is adding to the chance of a successful event. Step 3 is when I engage the workforce that I actually acknowledge them for the stuff that they've done well. Step 4, instead of telling them to do something, asking a question. So I could have said, hey guys, what else is left on your to-do list before 5 o'clock? Had I done that, they would have said straight away, well, that pile of rubbish over there is getting, got to get cleaned up. They've also got to do this and we've also got to do that. And of course, then I could feel reassured that things were going well and I could have acknowledged them for that as well. I could have also asked them, did they need my support? Or could I get any other managers to support them to get things ready for 5 o'clock? And last but not least, I could have thanked them for the great effort that they're putting in to make sure this event, which is so important to us, is going to be successful. Now, what would the result of that have been? Well, it would have been vastly different. Not only would it have been a successful event, I would have also had motivated staff that would have been feeling valued and feeling like they were making a positive contribution. And above that, I would have had built a positive relationship with our workforce. And it's that relationship that then causes, or then is, the foundation of all future success for our organisation. And that's the big game, folks. When we can make sure that our intention and the impact that we create is matched, it's an access point to high performance. So thanks for listening, and I hope you found this very useful.